My guest today is Priscilla Nwoko, a creative writer and content creator. Priscilla and I met sometime in 2021 during my second year in pharmacy school. She was a repeating student, and if there's anything I noticed about her, it was how hard she worked on her studies. She knew that it was her last chance being a pharmacy student, and she gave it her very best. I saw Priscilla in every night class I ever went for, studying. But when the academic session had come to an end, Priscilla was kicked out of the faculty because she had failed a course. We both failed at the same time, but in my case, I had the option of repeating the year, which I didn't take. Priscilla, on the other hand, continued her study in another department, Microbiology, and graduated last year. To my biggest surprise, being kicked out of pharmacy school didn't break Priscilla. In the heat of it all, she started a YouTube channel called Cilla Brown TV, where she was posting content regularly. How did being kicked out of pharmacy school make her feel? Why didn't it break her? Did she feel less of herself for being kicked out? What has she learned over the years from that experience? These and many more will be the premise of my conversation with Priscilla today. So, without further ado, let's get into the episode. Hi, I'm God's Delight Agu, and this is the Owning It podcast. Being a woman is hard enough, but being a woman in Africa, even harder. You're expected to be a good daughter, a good wife, a good mother, and still slay in your career. There are expectations from everywhere: family, friends, culture, society, religion, the list goes on. And every day we face challenges: physical, emotional, financial, and even professional. Sometimes you stop and wonder, is all of this even worth it? Owning It is a podcast where African women tell unfiltered stories of resilience, healing, and truth in their own words. We're here to help women own their stories, the good, the bad, and the ugly. As a storyteller and lover of stories myself, I'll be inviting some of my female friends and women I deeply admire. Together, we'll laugh, cry, unlearn, and grow as they share the battles they fought, the boldness it took to become who they are. If you've ever felt unseen, unheard, or unworthy, this space is for you. New episodes drop every Wednesday, so be sure to subscribe and join the conversation every week. Like Michelle Obama once said, your story is what you have, what you always have. It is something to own. So let's own it together. Welcome to the Owning It podcast. A lot of our listeners are meeting you for the very first time. So can you tell us about yourself? Just briefly, who are you? Introduce yourself to the audience.
Okay, so my name is Priscilla Nwoko, but I think a lot of persons know me as Cilla Brown. So that's my name on some of my socials. I'm a writer and also a video content creator. I'm on YouTube, so I'm a YouTuber, a writer, and a YouTuber. Basically, nothing much, yeah. The two main things I do is just writing and creating video contents currently.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So Priscilla, let's get into the gist of today. So let's start from the very beginning. Sorry, let's start from the beginning, right? So I met you when I was still in pharmacy school, and there's something I remembered about you was how hard you worked. I would remember all of these night classes. Priscilla was always in every night class. I used to wonder, yeah, not this deep. Okay, so it's quite unfortunate that, things turned out the way they turned out. But why pharmacy? Let's just start from the question of why pharmacy and what did that dream mean to you back then? Because seeing the amount of hard work that you put into that, I'm sure it meant something to you. So let's just start from there.
It's a deep question though. Why pharmacy, right? Because actually, I read JAM 3 times. So it was more like pharmacy or nothing.
Okay.
Because I had to write JAM 3 times, and then the third time I got the admission. So why pharmacy? I don't think I personally actually like desired to be a pharmacist, but I know back then when I was younger, my mom projected pharmacy to me. So somehow, I saw it as a noble profession, and okay, it's cool, it's cute, noble profession, and I don't know. That's what made me to like it the more and go for it. But I didn't really know what it entailed and all of that. So because of the way my mom talked about it and all of that, so I was like, okay, it's chill, like it's a cool course. Let me go for it. That's right. So normally I would have entered school earlier on, but like my mom too was like, oh, pharmacy and all of that. So that's why I went for pharmacy.
Okay, why was it not medicine? Why
Okay,
was it not
what was
medicine? So the next parents to be like, okay, it has to be medicine.
Abby? I didn't really look at medicine, Sha. It was just like pharmacy. That was what she was always projecting. And me too. I fell in love with it. I mean, anybody here in his pharmacy, that's like professional course. So why not?
Oh wow, that's interesting. And quite relatable to me as well. So tell us about
Okay.
the moment everything changed. Like the moment when everything changed, when you got kicked out, what happened, and how exactly did you feel about the whole experience?
Okay. So I think it was from year two I started having some challenges because the courses were some of them like chemistry. Then it was challenging for me, and me I did not really like chemistry, but I know I was really putting in efforts. So and my friends they were trying for me, we're reading together sometimes. So then I repeated year two, I had to repeat, and then my friends they went ahead to the next level, and then the drive was still there, putting in effort and all of that, still going to class, having hope that, oh, I can still do this, you know. And my parents, they were encouraged. Though when I had to repeat the first time, you know how parents be now, your mates, they have two hair, that kind of a thing, and all of that. They start comparing you, not knowing that every child has is wired differently. So
Yeah.
when I was to repeat the second time, it was a mixed feelings though. I remember at a point I was like, I told my parents that I was tired. I didn't want to continue. And I encouraged me. My roommates then encouraged me to just try now, just try now. I was like, okay, fine. Let me try now. So I went the second time, did my year to the second time, and wrote first semester exam. I had receipts. I think I had like two, and then second semester I had again. So it was okay. There were four receipts in total. So if I had receipted them, I would have gone to the next level. So it was during that receipt period when I stayed back on the hostel, and I was like, I was just thinking about the whole thing. I was tired, and at that point, I just went to leave. Like before then, Sha, when you're trying something, putting in effort, and somehow, it's just not working. Slowly, you'll be getting tired of it. Like you want to just give up. I was just like using my last strength to just, okay, let's see how it goes. So when I wrote the receipt exams, I was like, if I pass, fine. If I don't pass, I beg, we'll move on. Because the way pharmacy is now, they make it look as if there's no life outside pharmacy. There's no life outside pharmacy school. Yes, because it really messed with me, Jesus, Lord. Hey. So let me not digress. So after I read my recent exams, I was just like, okay, anything that happens. So if I pass, I pass. If I fail, go to another department. So when the results were about coming out, I don't know if you've been in the hostel, pharmacy hostel, when the results usually comes out or it's about to come out, there'll be tension. Everybody's like, hey, results is coming out, so they're posting the result, that kind of thing. So, so when the result was released now, everybody was trying to check their own and all of that.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, if I don't pass at this point, I know that okay, I'm done with this whole thing and all of that. So I finally checked my results, and I realized that I had, because of one course, that was dispensing now. I had was it 52 or so. So it meant I was to withdraw because I feel that because I remember I wrote PMB2 and I passed it. And I read very well for that PMB. So I was sure I was going to pass it, but dispensing, you know how dispensing exams can be. So I failed dispensing, so because of that I was to withdraw. I was like, okay, fine, no problem. I mean, it's okay. I think then it was just a tear that came out from my eyes. And I didn't like feel so bad. Instead, I was happy. I was like, I've tried. At least let me. I like, no wahala now. I cannot keep myself. I've tried. I'll just move on. And I was like acting fine. And even my friends, they were like, Priscilla, are you sure you're okay? Are you sure? Because normal me, I will cry. I mean that any small thing, I used to cry. And back then, when I used to have 0 in test or have really low score in my test, then I'll be crying. Sometimes I'll come to the hostel with buggy eyes or red eyes. So I know I really cried a lot of times then in pharmacy school. So it was not like, you're not crying, like, you're not showing any emotion, nothing. Are you sure you're fine? Let's know that you're planning to do something else, like hurt yourself, and we don't know. I was like, I'm okay, I'm fine. So I moved through the whole process of transferring and all of that. And somehow, like, I moved on and, the whole thing, it shaped me. It made me stronger because when I look back, I'm like, wow, so I really went through all of that. And then my parents now, even though when it happened, they didn't really they were trying to understand. But sometimes they will bring it up and be like, you know how long you've spent in school, this kind of a things, and I'm like, okay. Sometimes it even made me feel bad, like always reminding me how long you've spent in school, how you were in pharmacy and you spent wasted school fees and all of that. But the whole experience, it actually made me stronger. It built me.
Quick break. I want to tell you about something really special. If you've ever felt overwhelmed, mentally drained, or like nobody really gets you, I know a space that might just change everything. It's called Mutation Monthly Series, a talk show I'm a part of where young people between 16 and 35 gather every last Sunday of the month to talk real talk about our mental health, our emotions, and healing in a world that doesn't always make room for it. It's completely free, super chill, and honestly feels more like a conversation with friends than an event. You can join us physically in Lagos at number 13 George's School Estate, off College Road, Oba. Or if you're not in Lagos, no worries. We stream live on YouTube. Just search Mutation Monthly Series, subscribe to our YouTube channel, turn on post notifications to get notified when we go live. If you want to register, head over to Team Mutation International on Instagram and tap the link in bio. Healing looks different for everyone. This might just be what yours looks like.
Yeah, so
what was the emotional after effect of that experience? Did you battle guilt, depression, an identity crisis, that kind of thing? What was the aftermath?
Nah, I didn't. Like I said, I was already tired of the whole thing, and thank God I was seeing it from a better perspective. If not, maybe I'd have to be like up till now wallowing and be like, oh, I left pharmacy, I want to go back and all of that. So I didn't battle with anything like identity crisis. I didn't feel guilt. It instead made me like because I got to understand that it's not even pharmacy I should have done. When I transferred to microbiology, I more like finding myself. So I got to know more other things I actually like to do. And normally, if I had like known, or let me say my parents had allowed me to, find yourself and do what you want to do, I would have even preferred being in arts, not even science. But in my house, there's this status quo of like science. If you're doing arts, that means you're not serious. So, and I didn't have mind to say I want to do arts then. So I didn't even have the chance to experience, let me try arts. It was just like everyone is doing science. So you're doing science. Yeah. So when I went to microbiology, I had more time to, do some other things, do some other things and yeah, that was when I went into my content creation and started creating videos. You know, when I had to transfer to another department, I had to get used to a new set of classmates, obviously. Start
Yeah.
socializing, talking, and even if you don't socialize, you have to still talk, but you have to relate to them, take notes. If you don't understand something, ask questions at least. So it was a whole experience and it brought me out a bit, and yeah, it was really chill. Also made me stronger.
You've talked a bit about the way your parents reacted. So what about some of your close friends? How did you feel, or how did they make you feel? Were you judged? Were you pitied? Were you misunderstood? What did you get from friends and maybe former colleagues or classmates?
Mm. Okay, talking about my friends. They will pity me now. They are in another class. Me, I'm still like not moving forward. So they were there for me, sure, supportive and reaching out to me once to know how I'm doing. But normally now is your course, so you carry it. They were also busy with other school as well, so they were not like always there, but they showed up once, supportive, came around to know how I'm doing and all of that. So yeah.
Let's talk a bit about microbiology. So, microbiology, what were the decisions behind it? Was there like a decision that, okay, let me go to this department? What was the internal journey like to just accept it? Was it your
Hmm.
choice, or you just, okay, let's just do something just to graduate?
That's not my choice, so it was like the most available. When I went through, I like went through all the departments under science. There was biochemistry, there was PSB, that's plant science, there was computer science, there was AB. And I don't like chemistry. I prefer biology if I'm to choose. So I'm not like, okay, let me just go for MCB now, microbiology. I feel like it would be easier for me to just finish. So I didn't have any passion for it. It was just like, okay, I can do this at least. Let me just do this one and graduate. Shabi, if you don't if you don't finish school, or you don't finish school, or you don't go to university, many persons they'll start looking at you somehow.
Mm-hmm.
So it's to be as if this one did not go to school, this one is not a graduate and all of that. I mean, I cannot say I will not continue in that line, but my parents they want me to still do something else. So I was like, okay, I can manage MCB. Let me just go with MCB. So there was no passion or anything. Look, I just graduated. That was what it was more like.
Wow. So let's move on to more exciting things. Content creation. Is this Cilia TV or Cilla Brown?
Cilla Brown TV.
Oh, Cillabrowntv TV. So let's talk a bit about the content creation. I think it happened. Was it while you were still in pharmacy that you started, or after you left? I can't clearly remember, but what was the thought process like? Why did you start content creation? Why did you just think that, okay, this is something I want to try out? And because from a third person point of view, from someone who was an onlooker, I saw that when the whole pharmacy thing happened, you poured yourself so much into your content creation. You were doing it back to back to back. You were extra zealous about it. So just talk to us a bit about that.
Okay, about my content creation, it was after the pharmacy saga happened, and that's when I got into it seriously. And yeah, I had time now when I left pharmacy. I had time to like okay explore other things, and
Yes.
I love to do videos. I love to create content, just be on camera and like talk to people, ask people questions. So that was what, in, as I had that time to explore, that was what made me, and it was something that, okay, I actually like to do this thing. So that was what made me to go into it. And it was something I enjoy because even on days when I was tired and maybe even when the sun is hot, when you like to do this thing, you don't mind even when the environment is not conducive. So when I go out and do my interview, I come back feeling fulfilled, like I've done one obligation like that. So it was after the whole pharmacy stuff, and I decided to try this content creation. Actually, okay, I was in more public interviews. Before then, I wasn't doing public interviews. But being that I wasn't really going out, I was like, okay, which kind of content can I do and still do consistently? Like, since I can't really do vlogs, as I'm not going out, okay, let me try interviewing people. And when I did the first video, I remember I think I interviewed more pharmacy students. They liked it and they looked forward, yeah.
Yeah.
They looked forward to like more, more episodes of it. So I was like, okay, fine, let's go with this. And that's why I started doing more public interviews. And it was something that I really enjoyed doing. So, and yes, definitely, I'll still continue it.
One of the videos that I saw that you did was like an interview for the pharmacy students that were signing out.
Yes, Arnie.
Okay. Okay. Like,
and it was actually my set, so
yes. I was like, why is she firing this ball? How is she able to do this? It leads me to the next question. Did you ever feel like, okay, you had to prove yourself to anyone or to the world or to your colleagues? Like, did you feel like, oh, okay, simply because I had to leave pharmacy, I'm no longer worthy, or I'm less than you, or I don't know if you understand the question I'm trying to ask.
I understand your question. I understand it.
Did you ever feel that way?
No, I never did. Leaving pharmacy never made me feel less of myself. It rather made me to actually explore, like, know things that I'm actually good at, that things I would do and do very well. So, like, there were a lot of times when maybe I'm coming out of the hostel or going towards pharmacy building, and I'll see some of my, I'll say, ex-classmates now, and I'll just greet them normally. So I didn't like feel, some persons that they want to hide or something. I didn't like feel less of myself or bad or something. I actually stayed in pharmacy hostel till I signed out.
Yes.
When people heard it, they were like, are you serious? Because they didn't want to like have anything to do with pharmacy or anywhere they would see pharmacy people. I stayed there till I signed out, and because that hostel is one of like the best hostel, and I didn't mind, I was still related with every other pharmacist and all of that. I didn't feel anyhow or bad though. Not at all.
Wow. That's a high level of self-esteem, to be honest, because personally, in my own experience, I did not want to have anything to do with pharmacy or pharmacy people.
Shy.
As I left the chat, I left anything. Like, I don't know.
I'm staying in the group chat, so I'm staying like group chat.
Oh my god. Like, I just wanted to cut off any reminders or
from everybody. I guess.
Like, so, like, seeing you is like a whole different ball game altogether. So that leads me to the next question. I think you've also talked a bit about it while answering this one. What did being kicked out of pharmacy school teach you about yourself and, success? Like, what did you think about yourself and success in general? Because, let me give an instance. In my own experience, one of the things that leaving pharmacy school taught me was that there are different ways to become successful in life. There's no one road to success. So that's my own learning. So what would yours be?
Okay, I would say, first of all, you know how it was in pharmacy? They made it look like Ugweze will make it look as if you're not in pharmacy, you're not doing whatever you're doing. If you're not in pharmacy, if you're not in pharmacy. Yes, exactly. Useless. So it made me realize that there is a lot to life outside pharmacy school or being a pharmacist. And you being a pharmacist doesn't even mean that you will be successful, you will make money, even after all the... It's true now. After all the efforts, the 9 classes and everything, it's not guaranteed. You still go out there and you still have to hustle. So it just made me realize that without pharmacy, you can still be successful. You can still like secure the bag, make the moolah. Yeah, that's basically that.
Let's face it, in today's job market, talent alone isn't enough. You need the right tools to position yourself for the opportunities you deserve. That's where I come in. I offer bespoke career branding services, tailored CVs, compelling cover letters, optimized LinkedIn profiles, creative portfolios, job search support, and interview preparation that gets you results. Are you fresh out of school, switching career paths, relocating overseas? I've helped people in your exact shoes secure life-changing opportunities, and you are no exception. You can go for a one-off service or choose a full package that transforms you from a job seeker to a job magnet. Are you ready to stand out? Send an email to godslightagro99@gmail.com or WhatsApp me on +234 909 378 1187 and let's get started. So if you met someone today who is facing academic failure or disappointment, being that you've won that shoe, what advice would you give them? What would you say to such a person?
Okay, if I met someone today who's facing academic failure or disappointment, what would I tell them? Okay, I'll tell the person, I'll tell you to put in your best. But first of all, if it's not, it's failure is not a bad thing. Failure is not defeat. Failure doesn't mean you're not good enough. People who are successful today, they once failed at one time or the other. So the fact that you failed, it doesn't define you. So first of all, it's easier when you're doing something in terms of academics, when you're doing a course that you like, that you have passion for, that you have a liking for, it's easier. So even if you're failing or you're like going through some challenges, it's easier for you to go through it because, okay, you like this thing and you have passion for it. So, okay, let's find a way around it and that kind of a thing. But it's harder when you do not like this thing. You're just doing it because of your parents told you you have to study this course, and it's harder because you don't like it. So if it's something you really want to do and you're going through challenges in terms of academics, I just tell you to keep trying and put in your best. I mean, since it's something you like to do, just find a way around it. Look for others who have told that path you're towing, who have gone that way you're going, and tell them to put you on. Get advice, counsels, like it means tutorials or something, depending on what you're studying, to help you because people have definitely gone through that path you're going and they've been successful. They are successful. There are people who are successful who have gone through that path. So just find a way around it. But if it's something you don't want to do, like a course you're not enjoying, let me say your parents told you I have to do this course to like pharmacy or medicine or something. Okay, what am I gonna tell you? Well, it depends. If it's something, I wouldn't say you should quit. But if it's something you feel like you cannot continue with, and maybe it's like taking um like causing you a mental breakdown and like it's making you go through a whole lot, like the way my experience was in pharmacy. I would say if it means you having to quit and maybe restart again and go on, start on the path that you want to build on, then fine. If it means that, then why not? But if you feel like you can still continue, like even though it's something you don't want to do because you don't want to study, if you feel like you can still continue and okay, just finish and then we'll go into what you actually want to do, then that's still okay. So yeah, I think that's the advice I would give.
So if someone has been listening to this podcast and they're like, oh my God, I feel so inspired, I really want to connect with Priscilla, how can people connect with you?
Okay, you can connect with me on LinkedIn and Facebook. My username is Priscilla O.Wonko, Priscilla, Priscilla O.Wonko, NWOKO. That's the same name for X as well. Why for Instagram is Cilla Brown TV. Cilla, Cilla, Brown TV.
Do you have any final words for our listeners?
Okay, my final words will be you, be yourself. Don't try to be someone else. Don't try to conform to what others want you to be. Just be yourself. The world is going to adapt. Everybody's going to be fine. Everybody good. They all right. Do you understand? There are a lot of successful people out there who the feats they've attained, the success they've achieved so far, it's not something that others have achieved. And that's because while they were starting, there were people who were definitely trying to talk them out of doing that thing, towing that career path. But they didn't listen to them. They still did what they wanted to do, and they were themselves, and still continued. So many times when you want to, especially when you want to do something different, like, okay, this is what I want to be, this is the career I want to build on, people definitely want to talk you out of it, especially when it's like out of the normal. People want to talk you out of it, you know. I want you to follow the status quo like the usual. Why are you doing? Why are you studying this? Why are you doing this one? But when you become successful now, they'll still be the ones to come and want to celebrate with you and associate themselves with you. They want to be around you because you're successful. And at that point in time, they are already used to, okay, this is who you are. This is who you are. So just be yourself. Don't try to please someone. Don't try to, conform to what others want you to be. Be yourself. Everyone is going to adapt. Everyone is going to be fine. Thank you.
Priscilla's story is a story of grit, redirection, and self-discovery. She wrote JAM 3 times, spent 8 long years at Uniport, 3 years in pharmacy, 3 years in microbiology, 1 year lost to COVID, and another to ASU strike. By every standard, she could have given up, but she didn't. Her parents thought arts were for unserious students, so she pushed herself into sciences, even when it didn't feel like her path. They blamed her, compared her, and questioned how long it took her to graduate. Yet, in her words, the experience only made her stronger. The beauty of it all is that leaving pharmacy school never made her feel less of herself. It made her discover herself even more. It taught her that there is so much to life than a pharmacy degree, and that a certificate isn't the guarantee of wealth or fulfillment. So if you're stuck in something you hate, I hope Priscilla's story reminds you to give yourself permission to live, to chase what you love, because at the end of the day, being yourself is enough, and the world will adjust. Hey, real quick before we end, if you've been listening and thinking, maybe one day I'll tell my story, this is your sign. You don't have to be famous. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just need to be honest. Honest is a space for real people, real voices, and real stories. So if you've lived through something that changed you, grew you, hurt you, or freed you, let's talk. If you know someone whose story you find inspiring, an African woman you would love us to invite, tell us in the comments below. Email us at oninitpodcast1@gmail.com or send us a DM on Instagram at oninitpod_. We're waiting. The world needs your story, not a perfect one, a true one. Like this episode, share with your friends and family, comment the moments that got you the most or the lessons you've learned. Rate us a 5-star so that the episode gets recommended to more people. I'll see you in another episode.